Good morning. It's snowing huge place out there right now, so I'm sure we're all thrilled about that. Hopefully we won't get too much accumulation. But without further ado, we have Jerry Schmidt here, a VA accredited claims agent, and he's going to be talking to you about all different types of benefits that if you are a veteran, or again, you might not be a veteran, or a spouse of a veteran, but you probably know somebody who is. And like I had said before many times, Triad is all about education, and if it doesn't necessarily personally apply to you, I do know that you have a lot of friends that you talk with, and this information can be good for them. I'm glad that we have the actual PowerPoint that you can take home. Please share that with neighbors, relatives, and friends. And without further ado, Jerry, thank you.
Thank you for having me. If you can't hear me, just let me know. I'm going to speak a little bit louder than usual. And really appreciate being able to present here at Triad. And for those folks that are watching via Zoom, welcome. The breakfast looks wonderful, so we're real sorry that you're not here, but hopefully next month you can make it. But seriously, if someone can't make it, there might be a reason that they can't make it. So when I do these presentations, I ask the audience, I ask the Zoom audience as well, to think of the people that might never be on a computer to listen to this. So please be good stewards of this information because it can change someone's life. Of course, I look at it differently because I've been in retirement planning for over 25 years, maybe 30. You've lost track, 1994, whatever that is, 33 years. The presentation today is a result of me just finding out that this existed and learning about care. I didn't know how an assisted living building operated. I didn't know anything about home health care. I only knew what I thought I knew, and then I learned as I went. So I've been doing the veterans benefit planning for 16 years. And of course, I've talked to many spouses of veterans, many veterans themselves. But normally I'm working with the adult children because the veterans or the families themselves, they just tend to wait too long to reach out to get care. And I believe their first caregiver is their spouse. And unfortunately, the spouse declines as fast or faster than the one they're caring for. And then it becomes a crisis. Or then there's a tragedy. So today, keep that in mind and spread this word as bestly as we can. I put some brochures up there and the trifolds that are in the sleeve holders. Feel free to take as many as you want. Paper and ink doesn't cost a lot, so if you pass this on to someone, maybe we can help them. When I first heard about this, I didn't think it was real. Geez, why would they be handing money out to people? Well, they really don't hand it out, but it is available. So hopefully today we can talk about what is the veterans pension. And I wish I could talk about many of the VA programs that are out there, it would take too long, so I'm just going to focus a little bit on veterans pension. The slang or the street name for it is veterans pension with age attendance, so you might have heard about it. And there are some stipulations, so I put the 4 criteria here. It is up to $27,540 a year when the veteran needs care. And they do have to meet some strict criteria, but when there's strict criteria, there are possibly ways to navigate through that strict criteria. The first question that I would ask a family is, when did the veteran serve? The veteran had to serve during a war period. So most people are familiar with the major wars that we've had in this country, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. The future wars are also eligible, but the service period had to have been longer. So you don't have to worry about that right now, but I did want to mention that the future wars are eligible as well. The person applying has to have some type of medical condition that renders them needing some type of regular assistance on a daily or very frequent basis. So if someone's healthy, able to go to the store, able to go shopping, even if it's a little bit slower, or even if they can drive themselves, they might not be ready for this. But what I found in the 16 years is we're all going to need care someday. So we're all going to need need this money, and if we can get it, why wouldn't we look at how to strengthen our position right now? So the medical condition or regular need for assistance on a daily basis or a frequent basis has to be the second criteria. The third one are things that even someone like me, a financial planner, doesn't like to talk about too much. Your income and your assets. You know, people just, I'm doing okay, you know, and you might be. And then when you have someone come in to tell you what home health care is going to cost, you might shut it down and say, oh yeah, we're doing okay. Or when someone comes in and says, you know what, you might want to look at this beautiful community that they built a few years ago. They provide this care, and you know what, they provide these meals and they do all these activities. And you know, I know your spouse would flourish in a place like that, but she would like to, or he would like to keep caring for you at home. So open up your mind to know that this is available and this is something that can happen. The veteran had to serve 90 days total. I've run into less service periods every now and then. Only one of those days had to overlap a period of war. So I have talked to families in the past that where date of entry into active service was January 31st, 1955. I have seen that. They're eligible. I have talked to families that the date of entry into active service was February 2nd, 1955. They're not eligible. I can't change that, so I apologize. The discharge had to be honorable or general. I haven't run into a dishonorable discharge. I talked to a family about 9 years ago that did have a dishonorable discharge, but they did not call me back. I don't think they moved their father into the community in Oregon. The surviving spouse is eligible. This is one of the few veteran benefits that is available to the surviving spouse. The key word there is surviving. A divorce will end the chances of the spouse getting this money. They had to be married when the veteran passed away. If they did remarry, hopefully they remarried a veteran that served during a war period. If they didn't, that ended it as well. So the VA is very particular. They want all the marriage information for both the veteran and the spouse because they don't want to have an ineligible person receiving the benefit. So those, you know, date, time, and place, that has to be both beginning and end of the marriages. The second criteria, the person has to need care. So all these things on the left-hand side are your physical needs for care. All of these items would probably trigger a long-term care insurance policy. Bathing, dressing, toileting, feeding, transferring, ambulating. Well, in my opinion, if someone walks with a walker, they need help ambulating. And they're also probably very unsteady and might need help bathing. Now, they may be proud, and that's okay. They may not want someone around them, but if this is what's happening to someone, is all they have is a walker, we could probably make the case that they need some assistance. So we use the liberal definition of the doctor's evaluation. Doctor's Form 21-2680 asks, does the claimant, and that's the person applying, do they need assistance bathing or tending to other hygiene needs? I've already checked it, yes. My computer has it checked yes. So when I print it, hand it, and email it to people, it's already checked yes. Now, if this isn't happening, then we just have to talk. We have to talk about, well, what is going on? Well, you know, Mom really or Dad really can tell you everything that happened 40 years ago, but they really can't tell you what they ate for lunch, or they really can't tell you what happened yesterday as much. Now, they have good days and bad days, but that's what's going on. And I say, you see this question? Does the claimant need assistance bathing or tending to other hygiene needs? I marked it yes because maybe they just need to be reminded. You know, Dad, you know, you wore that shirt yesterday, maybe here's a new shirt, here's a clean shirt. Or Dad, you know, I was here last Tuesday, today is the day we, you know, make sure you get cleaned up and shaved and showered. Well, that's assistance to me. Now, the reason I do it that way is 16 years ago when I started, the VA would send back a letter that said, we're giving you a chance to strengthen your claim. Well, what was checked was they did need help with medication management, but the other box wasn't checked yes, that they needed some assistance bathing and tending to other hygiene needs, because the family said, well, yeah, all we got to do do is tell them they can do it all themselves. Well, that little reminder, in my book, that's assistance. So now we have two activities of daily living, bathing and the cognitive issues, which is on the right side of the page. So I always look at it, what can we present that the VA can't have a problem with? Because, you know, you send this to the doctor, they fill it out, they might be on vacation, it might take a week or two to get it back. You certainly don't want to have to fill it out twice. So we're all about preparation so that this application, when it goes into the VA, is something that they don't have a problem with or can delay. Because I've seen the range of when the VA would take a year to award someone money. That was early on when I first started. But it was also in 2019. See, the VA changed all the rules in 2018, and they added a couple new forms. And if you remember in 2018, at the end of the year, we had a 35-day government shutdown. Well, guess when they changed the rules? October 18th, 2018. So then we had end of the year 2018, 35 days of government shutdown. So my idea was they hadn't trained all the VA workers on these new forms, and they instituted two new forms. One of them was an 11-page income and asset form. So now, think about it, they trained their workers to process the claims in the spring of 2019. So that's why people I put applications for at the end of 2018 and 2019 waited 13 months to receive their award. That was very unfortunate. And I didn't know what to tell people. I said, we're going to wait a long time because it's just not going real well right now. I've never seen this, you know, in 10, 15 years. And then all of a sudden, 2020, people we put applications in December 19, January 20, they were getting the money in March. I thought something's changed. And then the year went on like that, and they were getting approved in 2 or 3 months. And then I put a couple applications for veterans in August, and they were getting approved in the same month, in 18 days. So I was telling people, hey, it's a lot better, you know. Don't be having people tell you it's going to take a year, because it won't. I just tell them what's going on, because I'll do 6 to 8 to 12 applications a month, and I can kind of keep track of how it's going. Well, this year, they've been approving people in 8 days. I never saw that before. Now, I'm not telling people that's going to happen to everyone, because sometimes the VA has a problem with it. The seniors, they have 6 banks, or they have this going on, or that going on, or this, you know, annuity or whatever, and we have to disclose all of it to the VA, because they can look at your tax records, and they'll cross-reference those account numbers with what you put down. So sometimes they want to know what happened to something that you didn't put down. Maybe it was closed. Maybe you forgot about it. Well, every time that happens, we're talking about a 90 to 120-day delay in your award. So that's why I want to do it up front. So if we have the wartime and we have the physical or cognitive impairment, or at least the beginnings of it, which would be nice to get in front of things, then the VA gets to look at your income. They're going to look at all your gross income. So what do we see? We see what's deposited into our checking account, or whatever account we have it deposited into. We might think our pension is X, but we're smart. We withhold money for taxes so that we don't have to pay at the end of the year. Maybe we get a refund. Well, the VA sees the gross amount. So we're looking at the big number. So we cross-reference it with 1099. So when I look at a case, I'll ask a family, hey, you know this 1099s you get in January, February? I'd like to see those. Don't worry about getting the tax returns. I mean the tax reporting instruments. Any wages, sometimes if the husband and wife both are still living, sometimes the spouse will still be working. They might have W-2 wages. This happens quite a bit. Somebody might be working the first part of the year, then they have a mishap. They might fall or break a bone or break a hip, and then by the summer they need care and they're not working anymore. So we have to explain to the VA, well, yeah, we stopped working on the 12th because this happened. Don't count that income, because we don't want them to count something that's not happening anymore. They also get to look at the 1099s for interest and dividends. So that's what they get to look at. They cross-reference it from computer matching from their sources. They also have an access to Social Security. So they'll look at what your income reported is and what they get to look at. Every dollar you pay for care, so if you're in assisted living, every dollar you pay for care can be subtracted from your income on a monthly basis. Normally, people have income here, but assisted living might be a little bit higher. So absent all other variables, they're going to get the full VA benefit awarded every month. In some cases, people might have home care, and not to bash home care, but some people might have income, but their home care might be less than what their income is. That's okay. They can still get this benefit, but they might not get the full amount, or they might need to have more home care, because every dollar they pay for home care, they can subtract from their income. So it's kind of a cruel equation, but it's a simple one. Income minus care, they will award you money if it's zero or negative. If it's still positive, you could get less than the maximum, and that happens. So then we'll pile on to the VA and say, well, here's what we spent for the last year on our prescriptions, on our hearing aids, on our doctor's visits that we have to pay out of pocket for, and then we'll get reimbursed later. Now, if we can avoid getting reimbursed later, you know, what I said, 90 to 120 days is the typical wait time for any type of inquiry or response to the VA. So you don't have to remember all that, but these things on the right-hand side of the page are things that we can use to offset your income or subtract from your income. If you have a Medicare supplemental policy and you pay every month or every other month, you can subtract that from your income. Prescriptions aren't very fairly viewed by the VA. On the award letter, they'll say, we did not use these prescriptions because they're not a predictable expense. They can change from month to month. So I don't use prescriptions. I stopped doing it about 15 years ago when I read that. And I'll still see that on an award letter here and there. We did not use this because it's not predictable. But it is a real expense. It's one of their criteria on their expense forms. They have about 12. And we can submit all of those after 1 calendar year if someone's not getting the maximum. So these expenses are anything someone has to pay for out of pocket. So if it's covered by insurance, and some hospitalizations are covered by insurance for everything, we can't submit those. It's when it becomes a regular out-of-pocket cost, when insurance doesn't cover it any longer. So you'll maybe have experienced that someone goes to rehab and it's all covered by insurance, but then when they're discharged because the insurance company won't pay the rehab facility any longer, and now it's on the person to pay privately from any sources that they have. This is the reason why the veterans benefit is a big deal. It comes every month. These amounts come every month. Surviving spouse, $1244. Single or widow veteran, $1936. A veteran that is healthy but has a spouse that needs care, $1520 a month. And a veteran that's married when the veteran needs care is $2295 every month. That $2295 adds up to $27,540 a year. So it can make a big difference when someone's deciding even to get care or to move to a community. It can help give them confidence that, oh, hey, we're not going to run out of money. We're going to be able to afford this. That's the way I look at it. I do everything we can to make sure someone prepares as best they can up front. This is just a basic equation of what I said. $4,000 a month of income, but the community might cost $5,000. That person's going to get the full VA benefit on that page, all those 4 categories. Income a little bit higher than their expenses, they can get less. So a spouse, in this case, would only get $744 a month. But then we go back and hit the VA with, okay, here's my prescriptions for the year. I spent $1,100 at Walgreens. Not a stretch, that's only like $80 a month. We submit that to the VA to get the higher award, and that'll come in, after the VA reviews it. We might have a few other things we can put in there as well. Doctor's visits that were out of pocket, hearing aids, dental, those are medical expenses. So those are just forms, that we put in. And a lot of times, because the veteran might be getting a pension and we might not have had all the information, the VA would award less than the maximum, and then we would add all kinds of things anyway, so that they would get them up to the maximum. This is where a lot of people have, call it the stop sign. They want to know how much money they can have. Right now, it's the same for a single person that it is for a married couple. It's $130,772. The VA changed their rules October 18, 2018. The limit was $127 and $61. You don't have to remember that. I just want to demonstrate that it goes up each year, that the Social Security has an increase. So whatever the increases were the last few years, 1.3 and 1.6. So 130, 772 is probably about 2.9% higher than that 127. That's how it works. And they look at everything. Anything that can be turned into liquidated for cash, all of your bank accounts, your IRAs, your real estate, your stocks, your bonds. And the home is an exempt asset. So that's a good thing. You know, it can allow people to breathe a little bit easier and get this possibly while they're living in their home, or possibly if they move to a community and they move out of their home, you know, then you just have to talk about are there planning techniques that can work when it comes to the VA money. A final expense policy, whether it be a life insurance policy that's designated as a funeral trust policy, or even the arrangements through a funeral home, that money is not part of anything the VA could have a problem with. So that's exempt as well. A vehicle or personal property, they're not worried about your, you know, your Godrow collection or your Beanie Baby collection, that kind of stuff. Any of your furniture, that's not going to factor in as well. So those are the 4 criteria. I try to look at those when I talk to a family, because my idea is this. In 2018, the VA went to a 36-month look-back period. And all they're going to ask is, did you make any arrangements in the last 36 months to make yourself look poor? And did that involve any transfers of assets or any gifting or anything like that? There were a few other strategies that we used to use that we have to use them very carefully right now, because we don't want to mess up the VA benefit, because that second line after the 36-month look back, it could be a 60-month penalty. So we don't want to make things worse just because we want to qualify for the VA benefit. Now, that's where I come in. My whole mantra is, if I'm a certified financial planner, I want to help people qualify as soon as possible within the VA rules. But we don't want someone to mistakenly apply if they have over the limit, because the VA will just say no. And they've told a few families that maybe weren't honest with me, that they didn't know they had this account. Maybe they were a couple $1,000s over, that they got denied. But by the time the VA denied them, they were under. So then we had to go back to the VA and say, hey, you know, you denied me in July, but in August I became eligible because I paid that next month's rent for my assisted living community. So then after a while, the VA said, oh, okay, we'll award you as of this date. So that does work that way, but we don't want to delay, because any delay, you know, someone could be vulnerable to not being with us anymore. That's the tragedy of it. So we don't want that to happen. With proper planning, some families might be eligible right away. They just might need some techniques that would work. You know, very legal. I don't want to do anything illegal, because why wouldn't you? You know, this money's always available. So if today you could just kind of absorb this and take it home with you, if the person served during a war period or their spouse did, they're in the pool of people that can possibly never get this money. That's never going to change. They're always eligible. So if they're over-resourced right now, why not plan ahead so that they could be eligible later or qualify later? So in other words, they're always eligible. When are they qualified to get the money? With proper planning, some families might have to wait a little bit. Are there strategies to qualify? Yes. We may want to make an intentional gift. I know it's kind of a bad word. It's a 4-letter word. But we may want to do it to qualify sooner than the 36 months, because the 36-month may be shortened if we have a gift that expires in 22 months. That person might qualify 14 months earlier. That would be better. All the different strategies are going to be tough to get into today, but what can you do? Why not make it a 3-year look-forward period? Now, if you're already under the VA asset limit or real close, you really don't have to do anything except get things together and apply. That's okay. But if you're worried or you're over-resourced or wondering how to take advantage of this, I say it's a 3-year look-forward period. Whatever we do today, in April or even May, if we can't get it done in April of 2021, we're doing it to make sure that people are eligible in May of 2024. Why wouldn't they? They're in the pool of people that possibly never get this money. And it's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. That's not illegal. So if we're within the VA parameters, that's the way I look at it, because it's a big deal. It's as much as $22,000 to $27,000 a year, or $15,000 a year for a surviving spouse. It can make them aware that they can afford the care that they might need down the road. What if I sell my home? The sale of a home can totally disrupt and end the VA benefit, and the VA might want to ask for money back. I'm not casting dispersions about anybody that does the VA planning, but some people just say, you don't have to worry about your home, it's exempt. Well then, by golly, if you sell it in 6 months and the VA finds out about that in 2 years, they may say you sold your home in September of 2021, and as of that date, we're going to stop the VA benefit, and oh, by the way, we want money back. I never want that to happen, because it's avoidable. So families that foresee selling their home should consult a VA accredited attorney, or I can put you in touch with someone who is a VA accredited attorney. Just talk about what are the best things to look at when you may have to sell your home if you're wanting to qualify for the VA benefit. You know what the asset limit is. It's so weird, but the home is exempt. But add $150,000 to what you already have because you sold your home, you're already over the 130. So no matter what you started with, you're already over. So that could curtail what you were getting from the VA or wanted to get from the VA. This is just a real case study. This family is moving from Florida. So John and Mary are 89 and 88. They have a home in Florida, and they do have some money, but they're just starting out needing care. So they're going to move to assisted living and maybe have care coming in a few times a week. But they want to move to the Joliet area to be closer to their family. They have 5 kids. 5 kids live up this way. John served during the Korean conflict, so they're eligible forever. They're moving from Florida to Illinois, and they're going to start an independent living at $3,400 a month. And then John needs a little bit of care, so they're going to pay about $600 a month to start out for in-home care. That's going to take a little bit of the burden off of Mary that's providing care. So my recommendations after meeting with the family is your assets are greater than the VA limit, but we can create a special trust to put your home into in Florida and to put any other assets into. So I just said, okay, let's write down all your expenses. Let's leave $250,000 exactly the way that you have it right now. We're not going to touch it. But we're going to put your home and its excess $150,000 into this trust. It's a special trust, and it has different stipulations, has a different tax ID number, and it's going to be controlled by your adult children. But they're all in agreement, all 5. It's still your money. So this is what some people might refer to as an irrevocable trust or an asset protection trust, but it's one of the things that is available to families. It doesn't mean it's right for everyone. It just means it's right for this type of a situation where they have too much money right now. But the reasons to do this are, there are 2 seniors that are going to need care in the next 3 years. One of them already needs care. It's very likely that Mary, who is now 87, when she turns 90, she may need care. So we want to make sure we're planning ahead for her and him. Because if he's still around, and I hope he is, he's just needing care now. There's no reason to know or to believe that he's not going to be with us in 36 months. Then we can take advantage of the VA benefit. Now, after that 36 months has elapsed, they only have $156,000 from the $250,000 that we didn't do anything with, because they just been spending it. That's what community costs, what their daily costs are, what their care costs are. We'd say, okay, they're a little bit over the VA asset limit, which now is $136,400, because we just added those little Social Security increases for 3 years. They were at $156,000. Let's pay your funerals $10,000 each, or whatever you think it is. Now we can apply in the 37th month. The VA question is, did you transfer any assets from the last 36 months? The answer is going to be no, because we're now in the 37th month. We're in May of 2024, and we're applying for this benefit that is now going to help them, because in the last 3 years, their rent went up, and their care went up. Now they're spending $6,700 a month. So they're up to about $80,000 a year. They're thinking that they might move to assisted living just because their needs are greater and the home care is going to cost a lot more. And it's going to be $8,500 a month for both. So now they're up to over $105,000, $110,000 a year. Because the 36 months has elapsed, the VA pension is now no longer $22.95, it's $2,400 a month. And if we project it out 5 years, the VA has paid them $60,000 to help them pay for their care. Now, what they're happy about is after 5 years has elapsed, that money is protected from the state for Medicaid. And they're both still living, and they both have a nest egg that the family can use to keep them at their private paid community, because now it's costing them quite a bit more than they ever imagined. So this doesn't happen all the time, but this is what I would recommend if someone had to qualify if they were over-resourced. Now, if someone doesn't have to do much, we're going to work with them right away so that we get that money as quickly as we can from the VA. There is another example. I don't want to take too much time. I do these every Tuesday night, but does it make sense to review what's going on right now? We have the proper legal documents. And one of the things that we run into is we do want to avoid unnecessary unintended losses, but can you change your estate plan if you become incompetent? So in other words, if memory issues are getting to a bad situation, do the current documents allow your adult children to change any of them? And would you ever want them to? When I do these presentations, I used to say, Mom always said those CDs are for all you kids. And I would just say, Mom, it's not going to go to them. I know that's how moms are. They want their family to get the money they don't use. But the way things are structured now, it's not going to go to them. Oh, by the way, your power of attorney for property, it doesn't allow your children to do that. So the agent cannot do that and be within the law. Now they can if you change your power of attorney, but I'm not saying you have to do that. So what's next is we look at it from a planning standpoint. We talk to attorneys, we talk to financial planners, we work with them because all of a sudden the money is going to be going out faster than it's coming in. Nobody ages gradually, it kind of happens all of a sudden and then it's a crisis. So sometimes the VA benefit's the last thing a family would ever want to consider. And they might look at the asset limit, or somebody might say, oh yeah, it's about 130. Oh, my mom's way over there. I knew she couldn't get this benefit. That doesn't mean she has to stop exploring it more than you do. Because remember, it's always in the pool of eligibility. So is the veteran. It just means, what do we have to do to qualify for? So that's the presentation. Thank you to our veterans. I like meeting with the veterans or even the spouses of veterans, but sometimes I'm not able to. Sometimes I'm only meeting with the adult children. And thank you for having me on Zoom. And I left some information here. I'll stick around and answer any questions you might have. All questions are good questions because somebody may have thought of them before. So I might have a good answer. I'll try my best. Yes.
Are you aware of any particular housing that's available for seniors that would offer the surviving spouse a discount on the rent based on the fact that their spouse was a veteran?
I believe every community is going to be a little bit different. We do have a couple of representatives here today that are from assisted living communities. So when they come up and introduce themselves, I'll let you know what their view is on veterans and spouses. But I gotta believe that there's got to be something that they can do other than getting this money. But my idea is help get this money so that we can keep you at a community like that longer.
Because isn't there also a benefit related to a veteran, like in the state of Illinois, where you can get some relief of your real estate taxes depending on your income and stuff?
Yes, there is real estate tax relief for veterans, and that's a different category. So I apologize, I didn't have time to go into that today. But as far as discounts, of course, there's veterans homes in each state. It's very well discounted, but it's not close to somebody's neighborhood usually. So the closest ones to us are LaSalle out west and Mantino off of I-57 down by Kankakee. But then the person has to move there, and sometimes with a spouse, that becomes problematic because the spouse can't drive an hour and a half when they want to see them. But there are other government benefits. This is one of the few ones that's available to a surviving spouse. Of course, if someone died of a service-connected condition, the surviving spouse can get a different benefit called death and indemnity compensation. They don't have to meet any financial parameters to qualify for that. They're always going to be able to get that. Did you have a question?
Yeah, if you can help clarify a couple points, because I know there's been seniors that have been misinformed about this in the past. Not from you, but just their general thought is they don't qualify because their loved one didn't serve overseas, they were stateside. So if you can clarify that, as well as when you talk about the equation of figuring out what you're due in benefits, you mentioned care costs. But isn't it true in an assisted living environment, memory care, that they also include room and board, not just care?
So good questions. One is asking me to clarify. Right. So one question is, isn't it true that the person that served did not have to serve overseas or be in battle or shoot a gun? It's true. The veteran did not have to be overseas, did not have to be in battle. The veteran only had to be active in the military during one of those war periods. Now, the other question was, remind me again.
Care versus room and board.
When someone is at home, they can use all of their in-home care expenses, so whatever they pay per hour or per day, the company or the person that comes in. In assisted living, 100% of the monthly cost of assisted living is an unreimbursed medical expense. So it includes the room and board, it includes all the fees, it includes the care. Because sometimes assisted living, they'll parcel it out because that's what their corporate accounting wants them to do. So when you get your bill, the bottom line is what we can use. So if there's a care level or if there's room and board, for VA purposes, we use the whole amount. So if you say, yeah, my mom's spending X dollars per month to live at XYZ community, we use the whole thing, and the VA uses 100% of it. So hopefully that helps. And that is a big deal because we want to know what costs we can use. And usually 100% of assisted living or 100% of any community-based care, like skilled care, is an offset to your income or subtraction. Are there any questions from the chat?
Home viewers kind of difficult for my first question. What would be the difference for two veterans? I'm not sure I understand that question.
So the two veterans, I'll get the amount to you, but it's going to be about $1,500 a month for two veterans that need care. So that $2,295 will be more like $3,100 a month. And I don't have the exact amount. I have seen it twice in 16 years, but I don't really throw that out there because it's so rare. But thank you for your service. If you have two veterans, that's a good deal. That's over $36,000 a year.
Another question: if a vet is paying family for care, does that amount count in the care expense equation?
So there's a couple things. We do use family caregivers. We do recommend that someone have a care contract. There's many reasons for that, and one of the presentations I do the VA presentation every Tuesday at 7, but I do a Medicaid presentation every Wednesday at 7. So for the state that people are living in, we want to have this all documented. So we want a care contract, just like a home health care company would have with a person. We want payment to be recorded. We want the family member to log what they do on a daily basis. And we do want a pay an invoice. So all those things are important because the state of Illinois or the state that you're living in might have a problem with just payments to somebody. And we do need those payments to be real to qualify for the VA benefit because VA can audit as well. And when the VA audits, I just tell the family, remember that care contract? Yeah, let's get a copy of that. Remember those canceled checks that I said you needed? Yeah. Remember those invoices I told you? Yeah, we need those. So we present the evidence to the VA so they don't stop the benefit and ask for money back. Will it happen? It can. It has over the past, but it just hasn't happened very often. This is a key thing to remember. If someone's receiving the VA money for about 3 years, it's a good chance that they're going to be audited about something. They may call the community that they say they're living in. They may need proof. But I would say if they're receiving the benefit for about 3 years, the VA is going to do something. They're going to double check. Now they can double check sooner than that. I'm just saying this has been my, this has been my experience. Yes, sir.
You said you did talks on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Where do you do them? Is it at your website?
So I do a Zoom meeting every Tuesday on the Veterans Benefit, and it's open to anyone. I also like to do Zoom meetings with communities that maybe have families that live there, so the adult children can understand what's going on. Because when someone moves into assisted living, there's so much going on, and the community might put a brochure into their packet, but you look through the packet and then it goes by the wayside for a few months. So I try to do the Zoom meetings every Tuesday. It's open. The link is on my website, or anyone can email me to get the link. And I just started doing that. With COVID, I started doing that in the summer of last year. And it's not hard to do, so instead of watching whatever Tuesday night TV shows are on, or Blackhawks, I'll do the Zoom meetings. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jared, very much. Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping statements. I don't really have any housekeeping statements. We're just going to go right on to our service providers. And also, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going our representatives from Romeoville PD, Linda, and then your guys. Could you guys come up as well and just introduce yourself just so our seniors can put face to names and come on, Linda, let's go. So I do have some announcements. I was given some information about a Pilates place, Patriot Pilates here in town. It is at 610 Maryknoll Street in the plaza where Sizzles is at. And if you are a veteran, I have flyers up here. I can pass them out to everyone. If you're a veteran, it's free for Pilates classes. If you're not aware of what Pilates is, it's mostly for core strengthening, stretching, flexibility, balance. It doesn't use weights. You're on a table, and so it's Patriot Pilates. And if you're a veteran, it is free. So the sessions are held Tuesdays, 10 a.m. and Fridays at 11 a.m. So I can pass this out, okay? Also, we've been working closely with our Lockport Park District, and they have, I don't know if you're aware, if you've heard any of these activities, Golden Age Club, Silver and Gold Club, Seniors Men Club, and Young Timers Club. Has anybody heard of those? Yes, okay. So I know they're going to be combining some of those, especially with the men's club. They're going to be opening it up to engage everyone, so women are included as well. So they're going to be changing that name. But we were talking with Nikki, and there's a lot of seniors that attend these events, and they actually conflict with our Triad meeting because some of them are held today at this time. So in talk with her, and we might change our Triad dates, which means we might have it the 4th week of every month instead of the 3rd week, okay? Same time, same place, food, everything will be the same, but we're probably going to change the week just so we can have more seniors come in, and also that gives you seniors the availability if you want to venture out and go to the park district. You can attend those activities as well. So we kind of want to make it fair for everyone, and we want to include all of our seniors here in our community. So I'm going to pass it over to Paul Beach real quick, and then we can just go down the line.
Hi guys, I'm Paul Beach from Home Watch Caregivers. We're part of the steering committee. I thought Jerry did a great job. Hopefully you found it very informative. And you want to have a guy talking about veteran stuff who has a crew cut. It just makes him, has a credence to it, doesn't it? You feel like he knows what he's talking about. We are a caregiving company based in Lockport. Some of the things Jerry talked about, we are VA approved. So that means the service we provide for you guys can go into this VA benefits. So something I wanted to bring out. I am part of the park district, so I do some talks. They're more fun talks. They're not, really informative like Jerry's. But please, as Officer mentioned, please look at those and come on out. They have some really cool events. So if you want to have any information from Home Watch Caregivers, we have the table up there. We have some stuff. Thank you very much. Oh, one other thing. We also are part of another triad, which is the Naperville-Lisle Triad, and they are having events tomorrow and Wednesday about housing options. It's a Zoom meeting, and I'll send the information out. Feel free to click in and they're going to go over the various things that are available in senior living. Hopefully we'll have one like that here for this triad, and I'm looking down the aisle here of our subject matter expert that might be asked to do that. But I will send this out to the officer, and she will send it out to you guys so we can maybe join it. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Crystal Eichhorst, and this is Kevin. We work with Senior Star at Weber Place. We're located in Romeoville. We're independent living, assisted living, and memory care, all on the same campus. We are also contracted with the VA, so we work closely with Jerry and the VA in helping our future residents or current residents to be able to take part of that benefit. So we appreciate everything that he does. But a little bit about our community. We're a private pay community, so again, that's where that VA benefit really comes in handy. And then, we work with everyone coming in to talk about their income and how we can help them out with those things. We have an abundance of programs, activities, entertainers, things like that. That's where Kevin comes in. Kevin, you want to say a few things?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and as far as our activities and programs go, quite a few of them are open to the general public. If we have special events, you can find that on Facebook, and we encourage community members to come out. But our regular activities, when we're allowed to have normal visitors and things like that, we encourage people to come in for any of our activities if you just want to try it out, or if it's just something you're interested in. So the best place to find that information is on our Facebook page.
Yes, and if you're interested in any information at all, I'm actually going to put some information up there at the table as well, so feel free to go ahead and take whatever you need. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Jody Jenkins with Revere Court Bolingbrook. We are a memory care only community. We are residential memory care. We have programs that assist people who are cognitively challenged in shoring up their memory and living an engaged and healthy lifestyle. Just to clarify, the event with the Naperville Triad is actually Wednesday night at 6 p.m. and Thursday morning at 10 a.m. It's a panel that discusses all of your options as seniors and senior housing options. This is the 3rd year in a row we've done this. It's very well attended. It's Zoom, so nobody has to go anywhere, do anything. In any case, like I said, Revere Court of Bolingbrook Memory Care Community. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Levy, and my company is Senior Solutions of Orland Park. And what I do is offer a free service to seniors and their families, helping them find the right transitional care solutions. It could be home care. It could be a Medicaid solution, supportive living, similar to assisted living, but different in many ways. And I will explain that to you if you ever need help. Traditional assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, whatever your needs are in those areas, I offer a free service helping you brainstorm on what ideas might be good for you, for your needs, and for your personal finances. So happy to help anybody. I'm going to leave some brochures on that table up there. Feel free to call me anytime. It's nice being here today. It's my first time. Thank you.
My name is Linda DeRusha. I'm actually the social worker for the Romeoville Police Department. I have lots of contacts with seniors. If you have a question with regard to maybe one of these nice people here, you can call me and I will tell you all about it. And this is my supervisor, Commander Anderson.
Hi, I'm Commander Anderson. I'm with the Romeoville Police Department. I want to thank you all for having me here. I know the importance of our seniors in our community, so it's nice to be able to put our resources together and just show the support. So thanks for having us.
Okay, so the steering committee is going to meet, and we're going to decide here within the next week if we're going to be changing the date. We are hoping to get Nikki from the Park District out next month. She's got a fun presentation to put on, and that way she can introduce more intimately the programs that she puts on and provide all that information. So that's the goal. I have been given by one of our seniors a couple ideas for presenters, like physical therapy, and also having a pharmacist come out. So we are going to be getting those on the books. Again, please email me, call me, whatever you want to do. If you have an idea or you have some questions about something that you want to hear about, we want to do it for you. We are here for you. We're here to serve you, so we can make that happen. Okay? Please drive carefully. It's been snowing a lot. Get home safely, and we will see you next month, okay? And I will send all the information out within the week, so you'll be aware of everything that's happening, okay? Thank you.